Entrepreneurs are told all the time that hard work is the key to success. Just hustle longer, push harder, sleep less, work harder. But what if hard work alone isn't enough? In fact, what if I said that if work alone is all that you rely on, then you could actually be sidelined because of that hard work? The Bible gives us a surprising picture of this in Exodus 18. Moses was leading Israel, and from morning until evening, he carried every burden himself. Then his father in law stepped in and said in Exodus 18:17 through 18, "The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone." The phrase used there, wear away, that phrase describes burnout. You see, burnout doesn't just hurt you, it actually hurts the people that are counting on you. I learned this the hard way. Before I launched out on my own again, I was overemployed. I was working as a principal engineer for one of the big banks, and I was also a CTO of a fintech startup. I was logging 80 plus hours a week for over a year, and I thought I could just muscle through it. But my body disagreed. It gave out, and I couldn't get out of bed for nearly 10 days. So, here's the question. If hard work isn't enough, what is? How do you endure the entrepreneurial journey without burning out? In this video, we're going to look at the surprising biblical key that Moses discovered and how it can help you endure too. And then we'll look at another man in Scripture, someone who hit the wall of burnout, gave up, and walked away. So Moses is leading an entire nation, and he's doing it all by himself. Every question, every conflict, every judgment, from sunrise to sunset, the people are lined up in front of him, waiting for answers. And Moses thought this was just the job that God had called him to do. This was all on him. But Jethro shows up, his father-in-law, sees the problem immediately, and he tells Moses, this thing that you're doing, you're going to burn out. It's too much for you. You're not going to be able to do this all by yourself. That's the formula for burnout right there. Too much work plus too few resources. It's the same thing that entrepreneurs wrestle with every day. We think if we just push harder, we can hold it all together. But in reality, the weight of everything eventually crushes us. And here's what I find so powerful about this moment. Jethro didn't just call out the problem, he offered a strategy. He told Moses to delegate, to raise up leaders who could handle the smaller matters so that Moses could focus his energy on what only he could do. Entrepreneurs get caught in the same trap that Moses got caught in. We try to wear every hat: marketing, finance, operations, product, sales, all of it. But here's the thing, if you try to do everything yourself, you don't just burn yourself out, you actually slow down the very people that you're supposed to be helping. So Jethro's advice wasn't just about Moses surviving, it was actually about Israel thriving. And that same shift is what every entrepreneur needs to make, realizing that your endurance is tied to your willingness to share the load. So let's fast forward to the New Testament. In Acts chapter 13, Paul and Barnabas are there, along with a young man named John Mark. And they're setting out on the first missionary journey. But then almost as soon as they begin, John Mark quits. The verse in Acts 13:13, and John, departing from them, returned to Jerusalem. And we aren't told exactly why he left. Maybe he was homesick. Maybe he didn't like the leadership change, because right around then, Paul steps into the lead role, and Barnabas, which was John Mark's cousin, he steps back. Or maybe it was the danger and difficulty of the journey ahead. But whatever the reason, the weight on John Mark was too much, and he walked away. And here's why this matters for entrepreneurs. Burnout does not always come from workload. Sometimes it's from unrealistic expectations, from trying to control things we simply cannot control, from wanting the path to look a certain way And when it doesn't, we resist it or we resent it. That's what makes John Mark's story so relatable. How often do we pressure ourselves by fighting reality, wishing we were somewhere else, wanting circumstances to change overnight, or holding ourselves to an impossible set of standards or even perfection? All of those things drain us. They don't just drain us physically, but they drain us mentally and spiritually as well. Proverbs 16:3 gives us a better path. It says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." In other words, don't carry the weight of trying to control every outcome. Focus on faithfulness with what's in front of you today and trust God with the results. I really love this verse. It helps me when I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like doing X, Y, or Z today, but that's okay. Do it anyway. Commit thy works. Do the work. Then thy thoughts shall be established. Then you'll desire to do the work. It's not about some Herculean effort. It's about putting in the reps. It's about putting one step in front of the other because you already decided what it was that you set out to do. But when we are distracted, or when we are worried, or when we're wishing that we were someplace else, it can be really hard to focus on the work at hand or the opportunities in front of us. Then, when people are distracted and just don't feel like they can succeed, they just give up. Burnout is almost inevitable. John Mark hit that wall and went home. And if we're honest, every entrepreneur knows how close we can get to doing the same thing. So, what do we do with all this? How do we actually endure the entrepreneurial journey without burning out? Well, the first strategy comes straight from Jethro's advice to Moses. Don't try to carry it all alone. Delegate. Share the load. Jethro didn't just help Moses survive, he helped Israel thrive. And when you stop trying to do everything yourself, you free up your energy for the work that only you can do. And the second strategy comes from John Mark's story. Don't fight the season that you're in. Burnout isn't always about too much work. Sometimes it's about unrealistic expectations. You cannot control every outcome. You can't control how fast things grow or how slow they do, who gets the spotlight, or what challenges show up along the way. And Proverbs 16:3 says, do the work that's in front of you, put in the reps, and trust God with the results. And the third strategy is one I learned the hard way. Protect rhythms of rest. When I was clocking 80 plus hours a week, I thought I could keep on going forever. But eventually, my body shut down for me. So you don't have to wait for that moment. You create space where you are unavailable. Shut off the notifications, protect your evenings, get the sleep your body needs. Because the truth is, if you don't schedule rest, burnout will likely schedule it for you. Here's the big takeaway. The solution isn't working harder, it's working intentionally. Probably thinking harder is in there as well. It's learning to share the load, to accept the season that you're in, and to build rhythms that allow you to endure for the long run. Because it is an endurance and not a raw hustle that keeps you in the game for the long haul. Moses shows us that trying to carry too much alone will wear you away. And Mark shows us that burnout can hit when we fight the season we're in or try to control outcomes that we can't actually control. My own story reminds us that if you don't guard your rhythms of rest, then burnout will likely schedule them for you. The solution isn't to hustle harder. It's intentional work. It's building rhythms that allow you to endure, because endurance is what keeps you in the game for the long haul. Now, if you like this video, chances are you'll like my playlist with all my videos talking about biblical business principles. And you can watch that here. And I'll see you in the next video.